Welcome Oceansiders to Tomoka State Park, and as you see behind me is the great Tomoka River that flows throughout. Now, I'm here for a somewhat spooky tale, the somewhat strange tale that happened in this very area. Look how beautiful this is, this area right here, with the Tomoka River right here. A lot of people go out here to fish, drive their boats into kayak and other water activities out here. How beautiful is this though? Now, let's go back to early civilization that happened right here. The town of Nokoroku was actually all right in this area right here. A whole town or civilization thrived and lived in this area. Now, the reason that this historical place is kind of spooky and has a kind of a dark past is here in Nokoroku, we have the Spanish, if you can imagine, approach this area and are here kind of uninvited in the Nokoroku village here that existed here. Now they did have like where they planted stuff for food. They eat shellfish. They ate like fish out of the waters that are out here. It's kind of how they survived. But yeah. So the Spanish come uninvited, pretty much. And Chief Tomokie was the chief of Nokoroku. And he did something sacrificial that he shouldn't have. Now, this area was known for basically the Fountain of Youth, and also a lot of gold in this area. That was the rumor. There was a golden chalice Tomokie did take into the waters, sacred waters of the Tomoka River. And he drinks and dips it in the water and drinks from the Tomoka River, the sacred river. The reason it's sacred is that this was only the chalice was only supposed to be used by the shamans to bless the land in order for good crops and for them to be able to, eat. So that really perturbed, I guess, or pissed off the rest of the group living in this area right here. So it pretty much put his head on a plate to be taken out. Tomokie never was able to be taken down by any arrows that hit him from a man. Once he drank from this river, that's why he was not able to be taken out or killed, based on drinking the water from this river that is sacred. When there was a neighboring tribe, and there was a lady named Olita, and she had two brothers. Well, Olita and the two brothers, they ended up coming out here, and Olita, being a woman, because no man could ever kill the chief, Tomokie, she ends up drawing back, shoots the arrow, goes straight through his heart, and kills Chief Tomokie. Now she goes to retrieve the arrow from Tomokie's chest after killing him. When she pulls this arrow out and grabs the chalice next to him, a drop of blood lands on her hand. Once that drop of blood lands on her hand, she immediately perishes and dies right there. So the brothers saw this. They were like, oh my God, this guy's blood is poisoned. So they took Chief Tomokie and dragged him well out into the wilderness here, way past all of this, in the deep, deep woods and left him there. So, that's the story of Chief Tomokie. Now, there has been, that it's haunted in this area. That there's ghosts, there's lights and things that are in this area as well. But per the story of Chief Tomokie's demise and Olita's story of taking him out, there's an actual statue that's not too far from here that we're going to go check out. And as you can see here, here's a little history of Nokoroko as well. It says Nokoroko is the Tomokian name for the late prehistoric Native American village that was located here on Tomoka Point. The first European visitor, 1605, was a Spanish soldier, Alvaro Mexia, who was on a diplomatic mission to explore and establish peace between the native populations in Spain. And then here's kind of a mock-up of the way the village used to look in this very area. They came here in 1564. And this is the statue that represents Tomokie on the top up there as he's holding the golden chalice and the water that he drank and all the water that's coming down on the sides. And then on either side is basically the people that were trying to kill him, is what this represents. But as we told you before in the story, Olita was able to take him out but died soon after. This is crazy. But if you notice too, we're here in the park, you can actually see some of the seating area here that you could come and sit down and view this great big statue here. But as you walk up a little further, we'll actually see the plaque that explains. Chief Tomokie, slain by Olita in defense of the Golden Cup, designed by Fred Dana Marsh. Pretty cool. And then this shows about the Timucua Indians and all the different artifacts that they found in this area. Pause this so you can read all about it. So another event that happened after the Timucuan tribe, which was about 5 miles south that way to Loco-Roco, the town that they lived in. Soon after that, there was the Seminole Indians. Now, we are here at the historical Dummit Plantation Mill ruins. So these ruins are the remains of the sugar and rum processing factory built in 1825 and owned by Thomas Dummit. Now, Thomas Dummit built this factory that I'm going to show you here, and creating rum and sugar for not only here but also to be shipped off to the Caribbean for them to make rum as well. Now, this being in 1825 that this was built, this, I know you can't see, but the Tomoka River is what I meant. But if you see through here, there is what's left of the chimneys of the mill. Now, the reason that's the only thing left is that during the Seminole War in 1826, the Seminoles burnt this down. Now, the reason being is because Thomas was building this too close to the sacred waters of the Tomoka River. So this infuriated the Seminoles tribe to burn this place down. He was building closer to the river in order to trade, make it better for access to trade, and also to take it to the Caribbean waters to sell as well. That's why all we have is the remains of the stacks that have been here since 1826 while this was burnt down. It's pretty stinking amazing though. But they have this all fenced off. Before, I think it's probably 2015. This used to, you could just walk right up to it. Now, if we look here, if you look down here, there's actually water in this well. But this was the well that supplied fresh water all the way up to the building in order to supply fresh water to the boilers that provided steam that turned all the cranks and everything to smash the sugar cane to make sugar. So if we walk down here and walk a little further down past the Spanish moss, and we're going to get closer to this thing. But here you are. There are the stacks that used to present steam into the air while making sugarcane being pressed from a boiler and steam crushing it into a product that could be sold. This has been here, guys, since 1826 and has not been torn down. It is pretty freaking amazing how long this has been here. Wow, super amazing. So if you think about it, in 1825 all the way up to 1836 when it was burnt down, it was only here, what, less than 10 years, which I found pretty wild when I was reading about this story. So it's pretty wild. But this is not too far from Nokoroku, where the first civilization of Indians first approached the Tomoka River to live and provide for their own village. Pretty stinking cool. And if you look up, you can see all the foliage around here and the Spanish moss. And there used to be, I guess, some seating there to the left when this fence wasn't here. I wish they would take this down. Anyways, it's probably here because people were stupid and climbing up on the thing, sitting on the smokestack or something. Anyways, it's quite beautiful. If you're ever in Norman Beach, you should come down here and check out the Dummett Plantation ruins. Super spectacular historical monument, still stands here today. But also in the area of Loco Roco and the sugar mills, and all up and down through what they call the Loop, which is a giant drive around the Tomoka State Park and River, there's headlights that people see, some ghostly lights that follow people around here. And sometimes people have had accidents because of these lights, have blinded them and made them crash their vehicles or run off the roads. Also, by the Tomoka River, which is well beyond all this foliage that way, people have seen a pink, like a pink smoke coming from that river, which is ominous and spooky looking. So, you must be very careful when driving these roads here on the Loop, because you could be visited by some spooky headlights or spotlights that can run you off the road. Now, there has been people as well that have, for some reason, pulled off the road and fell into a sleep and then woke up again wondering what just happened. Pretty interesting stuff. Pretty ghostly and weird. Probably need to come down here sometime and check out if that's rumors are actually true with the ghostly lights, and look at the Tomoka River at night and see if there's actually a spooky, ghostly smoke going across the water. Be very interesting. and get it all right here on video. Anyways, guys, that's all I have for you today. These are the events that happened way back when and lead to spooky tales of things happening on this very road behind me and over at the Tomoka River, which lies beyond the sugar mill plantation. Love you guys. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and comment down below. Let me know what else you want to see here in the great state of Florida and also in Norman Beach. Love you guys. Take care. Bye.